Hello, and welcome back to algebra class. Today we're going to be talking about graphing equations that are in slope-intercept form. So our objective for today is to be able to write and graph linear equations that are in slope-intercept form. If you have a ruler or a straight edge today, your student ID will work. That will help you to better draw straight lines. In order to graph an equation that is in slope-intercept form, you need to follow two steps. First of all, you need to start at your y-intercept. Your y-intercept is your b value, which is right here. Sometimes you will see a y-intercept written in the form of 0, comma, whatever that y value is. Next, you'll want to graph using the actual slope. So the slope will be written in the form of m equals some number. So we'll say m equals slope. And that is your rise over your run. If you have not written down those steps, I highly recommend you do. That way you can remind yourself what you are supposed to do. Let's go ahead and look at our first example. So here, this is not in slope-intercept form, so we need to get our equation into slope-intercept form. It should be y equals mx plus b. So to do that, I need to draw a line down my equal sign. And I want it to be of the form of y equals mx plus b. So I need to move that negative 3x over. So to do that, I'm going to say plus 3x plus 3x. Once I do that, I get y equals. Now I want the 3x first because if you look at the slope-intercept form equation, that's what should go first. So I say 3x plus 1. Now I do have this thing in slope-intercept form, so I need to figure out my slope and my intercept. So the first thing I'm going to do, I like to recognize my y-intercept first. So I'm going to say 0, comma, and my b value is 1. So that's where my equation should be starting at. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's my y-intercept right there. The next thing I'm going to recognize is the slope. In this case, my slope is 3. However, when I am actually graphing an equation, I like it to be in rise over run form. If it is not in a fraction, like in this case where it's just 3, it's always just over 1. So this tells me to rise 3 and run 1. So starting from that green dot, I'm going to rise 3, run 1. I'm going to rise 3, run 1. I'm going to rise 3, run 1. Now you'll notice that is making a straight line. I can also go backwards as well. And I like to do that, and it makes my line nice and straight. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my straight edge, and I'm going to draw myself a nice straight line with arrows on both ends. Let's go ahead and do our next problem. So this equation actually is in slope-intercept form already, so I can simply just go ahead and start listing some things. So my y-intercept this time is 0, comma 4. So I'm going to put a green dot right at 0, comma 4. My slope this time is 1 over 2. So that's telling me that I'm going to rise 1 and run 2. So starting from my green dot, I'm going to rise 1, run 2. 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 I can also go backwards to keep that straight line going. And then I'm going to take my straight edge and draw a nice straight line. And while I talk about that, just a reminder here, if you are a person who does not have great, nice, straight-lined handwriting, please do not give me a crazy crooked line all over the paper. Make sure you are using a straight edge when you do this. Let's go ahead and look at our next problem. So this is not in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So I need to make that happen. So my first thing is to draw a straight line here. The problem is I have that 3 with the y, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 3. Divide this whole thing by 3. So when I do that, I'm left with y. 2/3 divided by 3, so I can actually divide these two things right here, is just going to be 2/3. I cannot simplify that at all, so it's 2/3 x. And then 3 divided by 3 is 1. Now this thing is in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to go ahead, recognize my y-intercept, which is 0, 1. So I'm going to put a red dot right at 1. And my slope in this case is 2/3. That tells me I'm going to rise 2 and run 3. So I'm going to rise 2, run 3. Rise 2, run 3. Rise 2, run 3. I can do that same pattern backwards. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw a nice straight purple line using my straight edge. And I should be good to go there. Let's go ahead and watch our next problem here. So this time, once again, I am not in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to go ahead and make that happen. So I have to draw a line right down my equal sign. I'm going to first subtract 8x on both sides because I got to get y alone. When I do that, I'm left with 4y equals negative 8x plus 12. I'm then going to divide by 4 on both sides. So I have to divide each individual term. So 4y divided by 4 is just going to leave me with y. Negative 8 divided by 4 leaves me with negative 2x, plus 12 divided by 4 is 3. So now I do have it in slope-intercept form, so I'm going to go ahead and recognize my information here. So I have my y-intercept is going to be 0, 3. So I'm going to put a purple dot right at 3. My slope in this situation is negative 2, but because it's just a whole number, I'm going to put it over 1. So what this tells me to do, it tells me to go down 2 over 1. So I'm going to go down 2 over 1, 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 down 2 over 1. Do the same pattern backwards. Now I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm going to draw myself a nice straight line here. Notice how I had a negative slope when I figured it out, and my line is going down as I go to the right. The other problems, we had a positive slope, so our lines were going up as we went to the right. That is all of our problems for today. So hopefully you have a better understanding of how to graph a line. Good luck the rest of the day and have a great day. Bye now.